Привет, друзья! Как дела? And welcome back to Be Fluent in Russian podcast. Today, we are not gonna have talks with Victoria because Victoria is traveling, she's enjoying herself, and I'm gonna be by myself today. So she left me to go travel and to enjoy life, and she left me to do this podcast by myself as well. And she will come back probably in the next Monday. Today, this Thursday, next Monday, next Thursday, I'll be by myself. But Monday after that, so in 2 weeks from today, she will be back and we're going to continue with our Talks with Victoria series. I hope you're not going to miss her too much and you will enjoy these podcasts when I'm just by myself too. Okay, since Victoria is not with us today, I thought about, hey, why don't we do something different for these Mondays? Something different from what I typically do on Thursdays. On Thursdays, we have a topic that I talk about, and then I kind of give you like 10 words of that topic and all of that. Today, let's go over a few verbs and talk about how they are used and how you guys can use them as well. The verbs that I'm going to take for today, I'm going to have 20 verbs. I'll take them from our homework that we have sent throughout last week for you guys to check out and for you guys to kind of learn and add to your vocabulary. We also have shared this Friday, so 2 days ago, we have shared a worksheet of conjugation to see if you guys can conjugate these verbs that we have given you correctly. After this podcast, if you haven't done the homework that we sent, it's completely fine. You can find that same exercise in our Telegram channel. What you can do, learn the words today, and then go to our Telegram and complete that conjugation exercise. What will happen is you will be tested on the endings of those words, not on meaning, but on the endings of how to properly put them in the proper forms and all of that. So it's another way for you to practice the words that we're gonna learn today, okay? Anyway, let's get right into the list of words, and these are all A1 level verbs. Simple verbs, but I didn't just take any random like top 20 verbs. No. I chose the words that are not so obvious, that when I talk to learners, I don't typically hear these verbs. But when I talk to natives, I hear them a whole lot. So these are going to be very specific, very useful, but not common among learners, okay? I hope that these are going to be useful to you guys. First verb is стоять. Стоять means to stand. Right now, I'm standing and I can say сейчас я стою. So it's to be standing up. It's not to get up, it's just to be standing. Стоять. What's interesting is that стоять is also a command. Freeze, стоять. Like stand, stop. Let's say I'm a criminal, right? And I'm running from the police and they can yell behind me, стоять! Stand, meaning like stop, stand still, freeze, like that. Okay, стоять. Also, стоять can be used to talk about not just be standing as a person, but any things that are placed vertically. Let's say in front of me right now is a table and there's a bottle of water, and the bottle of water is standing on the table because it's vertical. So anything that is placed vertically, it can be objects too. They are standing. So стоять is used for that as well. Стоять. Next verb is сидеть. Very similar to стоять. Сидеть means to be sitting. Сидеть. Я сижу на стуле. I'm sitting in a chair. Я сижу means I'm sitting. Я сижу. If you notice, сидеть becomes сижу. Why is сидеть with the d becomes сижу with the ж? Why does that happen? In Russian, we have these phenomenons, or this phenomenon, I should say, is that the last letter of a stem can change sometimes whenever we conjugate a verb. So сидеть becomes сижу, the changed into ж. This is a very common occurrence and you should be used to it or get used to it because it's pretty common. Don't be surprised when the stem is not 100% followed throughout different conjugations, okay? There's not just the to zh change, there's also, I think, I don't remember the exact pair, but there's other pairs of consonants as well, so just be prepared for that. But to get back to our verb, сидеть means to sit or to be sitting, to be seated somewhere, сидеть. Then we have значить. Значить means to mean or to have a meaning of something, to have a definition of something. Now this verb is very common, of course, in the learner, I guess, or language learning context, because you may not know what a word means, so you can ask someone, что это значит? What does this mean? Что это значит? What this means? Okay, so значить means to mean something, to have a meaning, to have a definition of something. Now, this is not only used with verbs, with definitions. This is also used with what's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of this sentence? What's the meaning of this text? Not just with individual words, but with larger topics as well. Okay, значить. Что это значит? What does this mean? Then we have помнить. Помнить, which means to remember. Я помню. Ты помнишь. I remember. You remember. Я помню это хорошо. I remember this well. Я помню это хорошо. So помнить means to remember. We have different verbs for to remember, to have it in memory, or to recall something. Let's say I forgot something, but then I remembered it. Now that's not going to be помнить. Помнить is to have a memory at all times. Not to recall something, but to remember for a long time. Okay, помнить. Then we have брать. This is the last of the first 5 that we shared on Tuesday. Брать means to take. Брать. And брать is going to be very similar to брат. Брат means brother. Брать is to take. Now, the difference is, let me get closer to the microphone, is the t versus t. T, 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 t. Брать is to take. Брат is a brother. So this t at the end is a bit more, I guess, softer, while брат with a t is a bit more dull. Okay, брать means to take. And also брать, because it's a very common verb and because it is short, the conjugation is going to be very specific or very unique. Брать, беру. Okay? Я беру. If we add the ye, or the English letter E, in the stem. Я беру. Беру. Я беру стакан. I'm taking a cup. Я беру телефон. I'm taking a phone. Я беру. Now, it's not going to be that intuitive, I guess, for you guys as learners to have that conjugation, and that's why, of course, I want to give it to you. But also, the conjugation practice that we're going to share will include things like that. And whenever you learn a new verb specifically, you will most likely learn it in an infinitive form. I do recommend, I urge you, if you have flashcards, is to add that verb, but also add the conjugation for it, for at least я and ты. Because for я and ты, I would say that it covers almost all exceptions that it can have. Okay, so I would really recommend that. Then we have входить. Входить. I am pretty sure that you know ходить, to walk or to be walking, but входить with the v in the beginning means to enter or to come in. Входить. Я вхожу в зал. I'm entering a living room. Я вхожу. If you know how to conjugate ходить, хожу, ходишь, all of that, it's going to stay the exact same, but with a prefix added to it. So я вхожу. Okay, входить means to enter or to come in. Also, if you, let's say, at a doctor's office, and there's no, I guess, appointments or there's no queue, you knock on the door, and you can hear a doctor say, actually, let me knock. You knock on the door, doctor will say, входите. Come in. Входите. Come in. And it's a command, it's an imperative form that means enter, come in. Next verb is позвонить. Позвонить means to call or to dial. Звонить, the stem of it, means to call, to ring. And it's almost exclusively used for phone calls or like video calls or video conference calls. Not like to call a name or to call somebody on the street. No, it's call to dial someone. Позвонить. Я позвонил маме. I called my mom. Я позвонил маме. Позвонить is used to talk about calling someone. Now, if you tell your friend, call me when you get there, how would you say it? Do you know how to say it? I think it's a phrase that a lot of people use. In English, for example, we say, call me. How do you say call me in Russian? We say, позвони мне. Позвони мне, call me. You cannot find your phone. You ask your friend, hey, can you call me? Позвони мне. So, yes, that's used pretty frequently. Then we have ставить. Ставить. The very first verb that we have learned today is стоять, to stand. Now we have ставить. Very similar word. But ставить means to put or to place. But what's similar with стоять is that ставить, to put or to place, is to put something vertically. Okay? For example, I'm taking a water bottle that I was talking about earlier in my hands right now. You can hear the water right here, right? So, I can tell my friend, поставь воду в холодильник. Okay? Put the water in the fridge. Поставь. Which means I'm taking this water bottle and I'm placing it in the fridge. Now it's standing up in the fridge. Okay? And that's what the meaning of ставить would be. Ставить means to place something vertically. How would you say to place something horizontally? That it's laying down. That would be положить. Положить means to place something or to put something when it's horizontal. For example, it's something that actually even baffles Russian learners or Russian natives, is that of course it's natural to us. We don't give it a second thought. Okay, why do I say поставить, to place vertically, instead of положить, to place horizontally? We don't even have the vertical or the horizontal thing in our minds at all. Okay? Just an insight to a Russian brain, okay? But if we were to understand this logically, I have my phone in my hands. Right now, I actually do have my phone in my hands. And if I say, put this phone on the shelf, I would say, положи. Положи. Place it horizontally. Ложить means to lay something, okay? So lay this phone on the shelf. Think about it. The phone is kind of laying down, right? It's not standing up. That's why we say положи or положить as an infinitive. So, положи телефон на полку. Put the phone on the shelf. Here it is. I put my phone on the shelf. Я положил телефон. Now, same thing with the water bottle. Water bottle is in my hands right now. I cannot say положи воду. I cannot. Because the bottle is not laying down. It's going to be standing up. So I have to say поставь. And I place the water bottle on the shelf. Here it is. So, the same exact action. I have my phone, I place it on the shelf. I have my water bottle, I place it on the shelf as well. But two different verbs. Положить and поставить. Okay? Just one more time. Положить means to place something horizontally or to place something laying down. And поставить means to place something vertically or to place something standing up. Okay? I hope that you will retain this for a long time and not forget it. Hope it's not too complicated to kind of understand and to remember. Then we have падать. Finally, moving on to the next word. Падать means to fall. Падать. Я падаю с... No, I'm not going to say that I'm falling. That's kind of sad. Okay, let me think. Кружка падает со стола. The cup is falling from the table. Кружка падает со стола. The cup is falling from the table. So падать means to fall. Падать can also be used as a slang to say, or you can fall here on this couch to sleep. Падай здесь. Fall here. Now, let's say I'm coming over my friend's place for a sleepover. And I can say, hey, I'm pretty tired. Where can I go to sleep? And he can say, можешь падать здесь. You can fall here, which means you can lay down here and go to sleep here on the couch or something. Okay? That's падать, but of course in actual terms it's to fall, but also as a slang means to lay down, to go to sleep. Снимать means to take off something. Снимать. Okay, we have Thursday. Oh, I think I skipped one day. I skipped Wednesday and went straight to Thursday. Okay, well, we're going to go back to Wednesday after this verb. So, снимать means to take something off. Снимать, in fact, has three meanings. The main one is to take something off. Maybe it's clothing. Снимать футболку. To take off a t-shirt. But also it can be to take off something from the top shelf. Or maybe like a wardrobe or something. Снимать can be used for that too. And then we have a second meaning. Снимать means to record. Снимать, and typically video, not audio, but video. Снимать. Я снимаю видео на YouTube. I record videos for YouTube. If let's say I meet a stranger and they ask me, what do you do for a living? I can honestly answer, я снимаю видео на YouTube. I record videos for YouTube. Okay? The third meaning of снимать is to rent a place. This typically it's not used with cars or objects. It's used with housing. Because for cars or other things, we can say арендовать, to rent. It's a bit more like English аренд. The rent is in the stem as well, арендовать. But for apartments, we say снимать. Okay, so снимать has three main meanings: to take off, to rent, or to record. Okay, снимать. So that was the Thursday list that we have shared on Thursday. Now let's go back to Wednesday. I skipped it somehow. I don't know how, but I skipped it. The first word is начинать. And начинать means to begin or to start. Начинать. Let's say, я начинаю концерт. I am starting a concert. Я начинаю. So it's the beginning of the concert, so I am starting it. Я начинаю. Then we have просить. Просить is to ask, but the difference between, well, in English, просить, take it back. In English, to ask can be to ask a question or to ask to do something. The same exact verb to ask is used. In Russian, it's two separate verbs for a favor and a separate word for a question. Просить is used to talk about a favor. Просить. So, я прошу тебя мне помочь. I'm asking you to help me. Я прошу тебя means I'm asking you. Now, because the stem is прошу, we will translate I'm asking you for something. Not asking you a question, but asking for a favor. But a question would be спросить. So we add an extra s or s in the beginning, and we say спросить. Я спрошу тебя. I will ask you. Я спрошу тебя. Of course, if you didn't know this distinction before, просить, спросить, you may not hear the s in the beginning as it's not too, I guess, enunciated. Спросить, it can be really kind of subtle. Спросить, but it's there. So просить means to ask for a favor. Спросить means to ask a question. Then we have называться. Называться means to be called something or to have a name of some sort. Называться. In Russian, we have two different distinctions between a name of a person and a name of a word, a restaurant, a movie. So other things, like non-alive things. Okay? So имя is a name of a person or a dog or a cat. Имя. But название is a name for other things. Название. Now, название of a movie, название of a song, all of that. And so, from a word название, a name of an object, we form a verb называться. Название, называться, kind of similar in the beginning. Probably stems from the same word as well. So, называться means to be called something. Typically, again, a song or a movie or something. It's not talking about a person. Называться. I can say, как называется твой любимый фильм? What's your favorite movie called? Как называется твой любимый фильм? Like that. Next verb is отвечать. Отвечать means to answer. Отвечать. Отвечать can be to answer a question, to answer the phone call, to answer to a command. Отвечать. Also, it can be used to say to be responsible for something. Okay? Я отвечаю за качество. I'm responsible for quality or for quality control. Я отвечаю за качество. In other words, I'm answering for quality, or I'm responsible for quality. But if you think about it, responsible, the stem of that is response. Kind of to answer, right? Or an answer. So in English, we have the same exact stemming word like in Russian. We have to be responsible to respond. In Russian, отвечать means to respond to. And отвечать can be used to say, I'm responding for quality, or I'm responsible for quality. So отвечать can be to answer or to be responsible. Also, this is something that you will only get with Be Fluent in Russian podcasts or videos. Отвечать, it has a slang meaning as well. Let's say I'm saying something, right? Hey, I saw this guy, he just robbed the store and he ran away in this direction. Your friends are saying, come on, stop coming up with these stories, these crazy stories. I can say, я отвечаю. I'm telling you, I'm giving you my word. Я отвечаю. Even though I'm not answering anyone, to say я отвечаю means I promise you, I'm telling you, I'm not lying. Я отвечаю. It means that my word is 100% true. Я отвечаю. So whenever somebody doesn't believe you, you say я отвечаю. I'm telling you. Believe me, trust me. Я отвечаю. So that's something that I would say a whole lot with my friends. Я отвечаю. Like I'm not lying, I'm telling you. Like that. Then we have уметь. Уметь means to be able to or to know how to do something. Typically, I would say exclusively actually, used with skills. To know how to do something. Not to know how to talk, not to know how to, I guess to know how to talk also can be used as well. Not to know how to get to a place. That's more of like a factual knowledge, but rather to know how to do something. Like a skill, like playing guitar, playing piano. I can say я умею играть на гитаре. I know how to play the guitar. Or I can play the guitar. So уметь, you can translate this as can, I can, or I know how to. Also, I know how to do something when it comes to a skill. It's not like I said, I know how to get to the store. No. It's not used like that. Because I know how to get to the store, it's simple factual knowledge. It's not a skill. So уметь is used with skills. And the last set of 5 verbs. Let's speed up this, description a bit. These were the last 5 that we shared on a Friday. First is повторять. Повторять means to repeat. Повторять. You might know a word второй, second. So повторять has that same втор in it. Or the same stem втор in it. Which means to second something, to repeat something. Then we have объяснять. Объяснять means to explain. Я объясняю новую тему. I'm explaining a new topic. Я объясняю новую тему. Then we have заболеть. Заболеть means to fall sick. Typically used in past tense or future tense. Я заболел. I got sick. Or I can say ты заболеешь. You will get sick. Заболеть means to fall sick or to get sick. Then we have перевести. Перевести means to translate something. Now it has two meanings. First is to translate. Я не могу перевести этот текст. I can't translate this text. Я не могу перевести этот текст. Like that. And then a second meaning is to transfer something. Перевести деньги. To transfer money. Перевести деньги. Like that. And the last word for today is заплатить. Заплатить means to pay. Заплатить. Let's say, я заплачу за такси. I will pay for the taxi. Я заплачу за такси. I will pay for the taxi. Like that. Okay? So we've covered 20 verbs today. And before we go, I would say, whenever you're learning new words in Russian, it's easy to go for nouns. Like right now in my room, I have curtain, the pipes, bed, pillow, wardrobe, laptop, phone, water. It's very easy to look around yourself and to find objects that you don't know the names of in Russian. And it's not so obvious to learn verbs. It's not so clear which verbs am I supposed to learn. And I would urge you to find the words, find the verbs to learn. And how you can do it is just simply mention all the actions that you have done in a day. I woke up, I made my bed, took a shower, washed my face, brushed my teeth, ate, opened the fridge, boiled the water, turned on the boiling button of the water, opened the door, turned the lights on, closed the curtains, opened the window. All the actions that we can mention, and there's so many verbs in it. And if you don't know how to say those basic things, learn those words. It's very easy to go for objects, sometimes even adjectives like big, small, old, new, all of that, but actions get overlooked. And so what happens is a person has a lot of great words, a lot of vocabulary, but they're all nouns or adjectives. Very little verbs. And you don't want to be that person that cannot describe what they do or what they did. All right? And we're going to help you with that in our brief learning class. You can read our 12 stories that we have posted, read them one by one depending on your level. If you're an A1 student, start from the A1 stories. We go all the way up to B2. B2 is kind of where an average conversation in Russian falls anyway. We don't really go to C1, C2 in our natural conversations because that's a bit more like niche words and all of that. So yes, check us out with the link in the description. Learn new words from those stories. And also we have a whole bunch of courses, grammar courses, listening courses, speaking courses, all of that. Check it all out with the link in the description. It's our Be Fluent class platform. We make it ourselves. All the content is our own and all of that. We put our heart and soul into that project that I hope you can benefit from and enjoy. So check it out with the link in the description and I'll see you all next time. Пока-пока.